Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We're talking with former Major League pitcher, now a resident here at the Lake of the Ozarks, Steve Wapnick. How's Steve today?
Steve's doing great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a former Major League pitcher, but I hear you don't really like to watch baseball. You're not a big baseball guy, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened because as a kid growing up, I loved it. I would actually listen to games.
Yeah.
And just keep score in my bedroom and everything else. I loved everything to do with baseball. And then when it ended and I was married with my kids and I don't know why.
Like, I don't have time for that
exactly.
anymore, right?
I don't know why.
I know, though, I understand. I'm kind of the same way. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a regular season NBA game or really much of a major league, maybe the playoffs get into that a little bit.
Okay.
But so your road to the major leagues was kind of weird. You weren't like a pitching prodigy. You kind of picked it up as time went on, got better in college, got drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes.
First major league game was at Fenway Park in Boston.
Yep.
And what year was that?
That was 1990.
1990.
Yep.
So Roger Clemens is on the other team, and there were some big names there. Yep. And the first time you ever took the mound as a major league pitcher was with your Tigers. You were a Tiger.
Yes.
And it was in Detroit.
Yes.
And you stepped up on the mound. Do you remember what you thought when you stepped onto the rubber for the first time? Did you go like, I cannot believe I'm here, or something like that?
You know, the jog so I came in from the bullpen and jogging in, it wasn't a packed crowd by any means. It was actually a really good opportunity for me to go out there and get started. And I just remember going in there trying to just hit the glove.
Right.
Hit the glove. That's all I wanted to do. Don't hit the backstop, hit the glove.
Right. So. Well, and actually that's smart, because if other things are going through your mind other than the job, you're going to get distracted. You're not going to do a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like me looking around going, I can't believe I'm here, you're probably going to get shelled, right?
Yep.
Right. Okay, so in order to get to the major leagues, to play at Fenway and Old Tiger Stadium and stuff, you had to come up through the minor leagues.
Yes. Yep.
You were A-ball, rookie ball, A-ball, AA, AAA, and then the majors.
Yes.
What was that like? Was that like the movie Bull Durham or something like that? Was there a whole bunch of bus rides and hijinks and stuff like that?
You know, it's funny because you meet so many different characters throughout all of professional baseball. And so there's a lot to Bull Durham that's pretty accurate. Getting on the bus rides, leaving after a game, driving till 4 a.m. to your next stop and getting ready to go. So there's a lot of that, but at the same time, there's so much fun just hanging out with the guys, being around the guys all the time. We didn't make much money, so 4 of us would share an apartment. So we were always together, always doing things. And so it was a pretty neat experience.
You were really there for the love of the game. I mean, you weren't making big money.
No, the dream to make some money, the dream to actually get there and not just get there, but to stay there was a passionate dream for all of us.
Was there anybody on those minor league teams that you played with that turned out to be special, that turned out to be great?
Yeah, it depends how you would describe great. I look at Woody Williams, so he pitched with Padres, with the Cardinals. Just a great man of God. I got to play with Woody. Mike Timlin won several World Series with the Blue Jays, and I think he won a World Series with the Red Sox. But there were guys that just played really well, that were incredible people and incredible athletes.
Do you still know those guys? Are you still friends with those guys?
Outside of Facebook, no, not really. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How that, because everybody drifts apart, everybody kind of has their own life and they move on and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay. So your first major league game at Fenway Park, your first step onto the mound at Old Tiger Stadium in Detroit. What like when you're talking to your friends or family, what's your favorite major league story that you tell of, a memory, something like that? Is anything that pops into your mind?
Yeah, it's funny because what I normally share is not from me playing.
Yeah.
It's the experience of playing. So when I was with the White Sox in 1991, It's when Bo Jackson was with the White Sox.
Really?
And you had
Okay.
all these Carlton Fisk, you had all these superstar people, and Bo was just an incredible person, just the nicest guy. Being a rookie, he was just a nice guy. But Bo we'd get on the bus to go to the airport, and he'd sit right behind the driver. He'd grab the mic, and I don't know when he had time to do this, but he'd jot down notes, and he would just start ripping people on the microphone. And so it was
Really?
just hilarious. And the thing with Bo is he stuttered.
Yeah.
And so he would start stuttering, and like Sammy Sosa was on the team, and Sammy would stand up on this bus, start patting at his watch. How long is this going to take, Bo? Spit it out. And it was just it was hilarious just how the interaction went. And I was just such a rookie. I just sat there, smile, laugh, but tried not to gain attention from anyone.
Wow. So you had on that team Bo Jackson,
Yep.
the great Bo Jackson, who had been hurt and was coming back
Yes.
from the injury.
Yes.
And you say he was a great guy. Was he pretty down to earth?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because when I got traded during the year, I was in AAA with Toronto and in Syracuse, New York, and I got traded to the big leagues with the White Sox. So I asked them, could I just drive my truck? So I drove all night. They had a cot ready for me in the clubhouse in the morning. I got there for about 45 minutes, and Bo walked in because he was doing rehab on his hip.
Right.
So it was that's the type of person he was. He just got there early. He worked extremely hard. And so we always think of a great athlete, but he worked to be this great athlete.
Yeah. And if he hadn't have gotten hurt,
oh my goodness,
he would have been a Hall of Famer in two sports,
Yes.
in football and baseball.
Yep.
Probably still should be, I
Yeah,
would guess.
I agree.
So we're talking with Steve Wapnick, former Major League pitcher. Kind of like so much fun just hearing these stories. How awesome is that? So we'll continue to talk with Steve and Major League Baseball and all of that when we come back on the COMC Community Spotlight Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. If you love the lake, you gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We're talking with Steve Wapnick, former Major League pitcher, back in the early 90s. Got to pitch in some pretty special places.
Yes.
Fenway Park. Do you ever, I know you don't watch much baseball anymore, but when you do and you flip it on and there's a game at Fenway Park, you get memories that flash back to mind?
Not so much Fenway. I never pitched there. I warmed up in the bullpen.
You were there, yeah.
But yeah, when I just watched like Dodger games. I've never pitched in Dodger Stadium, but I grew up going to Dodger Stadium. It's those things that are really, I hold special to me today.
Oh yeah, I bet. So your career was cruising along.
Yes.
Things were going well. When you were a kid, you had a heart issue, and
Yes.
they told you couldn't play football.
Yes.
Right? So that's when you started playing baseball more seriously. So you're a major league pitcher, and Hank Gathers dies on the college basketball court because of a heart thing. And that had an effect on your career.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I don't know that every player that had a heart issue was stopped, but I know for my career, they stopped me. So I was in the big leagues with Detroit. I had pitched pretty well. And one day, Sparky Anderson, our manager, called me in his office, said, Bill LaJoy, the general manager, would like to speak with you. And what Bill shared with me, he had the team doctor on the phone, and the doctor said, we can't take the risk of having you out there because we're concerned something fatal could happen, like with Hank Gathers. And so all of a sudden I went from the big leagues to I might not get to play baseball anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah, it was a matter of probably 30 minutes.
And it was not because of anything you did.
Correct.
Or didn't do. It was because somebody else with a heart issue died in front of the whole world during a college basketball game. And since you had a heart issue when you were a kid, that affected you. How crushing was that? I mean, did it hit you at the time of this is life changing?
Yeah, I was pretty crushed. They offered me, because I was drafted in that draft situation, they offered me back to Toronto. Toronto welcomed me back. Yeah. And they shut me down for the year because they sent me to different cardiologists all over the place. So I guess, was I crushed? Yes, but I was also thinking, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay to pitch, and we'll just get this squared away. So it took almost all season before I got a green light to play again.
Wow. Yeah. So they shut you down for the rest of the year.
Yes.
While they're checking your heart out.
Yeah.
But you're thinking, well, I can pick back up. I can, you know, if I'm not with Detroit anymore, but I'll do it with the Blue Jays and stuff like that. How did you get through that time? I mean, do you just put your head down and move ahead? Do you rely on your faith? How do you get through that?
It was definitely faith and family, to be honest with you. You know, just constant prayers with God. Susie and I weren't married at the time. She was my fiance. So her support, my parents' support, just a lot of support. But the bottom line is there was something still inside me just saying, just keep grinding. So I kept working hard and I kept grinding until they took the leash off me.
Right, okay. And then was it the next year that you got injured in spring training?
No, so the next year I went spring training with the Blue Jays. Right. Went straight to AAA, had a really good season in AAA, got traded in a Corey Snyder trade to the White Sox. That's how I ended up in the White Sox in the big leagues, and pitched pretty well there. And then that off season, just worked hard. And the following spring training is where I got injured.
Got injured. And what kind of an injury was it?
So it was an elbow injury, but it kind of, I don't know that it was ever truly diagnosed back then. We just rehabbed and worked through it, but I was never the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when you're a pitcher and you hurt that pitching arm, there's a good chance that you'll never be the same. Right?
Yep.
Now, medical stuff has gotten better.
Yes.
They do the Tommy John now. It used to be in the old days, you get the Tommy John surgery and you're done.
Yeah,
career's over.
Tough comeback. Yeah.
But that's not the case anymore. I mean, now they're good enough at it that
these guys get it all the time and come back.
Is that something, if they knew now medically what they didn't know then, that they could have helped you arm, or they never really did figure out what it was?
I don't know that. I don't know that there's anything that needed to be done differently. What needed to be done was for me to accept that, hey, I'm not throwing mid-90s anymore and I need to adapt.
Yep.
But I was too stubborn and I was too prideful that I wouldn't adapt, and my success reflected me not being able to adapt.
Right, okay. Yeah. So then that kind of was the start of the end of your major league career. Was it a hard transition going from baseball to life after baseball?
Yeah, my whole identity, although I was a Christian, that should be my identity, but my whole identity was wrapped up as a baseball player. So all of a sudden that got taken away, and I had a tough time, like, who am I? What am I gonna do? It was really a challenging next couple years, to be honest. But just through the grace of God and perseverance and family support, you started thinking of other things to do and you start pursuing other careers.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just for the athletes either. It's for almost any profession. You know, you get laid off or this or that happens and all of a sudden you got to figure out life. All right. So he's Steve Wapnick, former major league pitcher. Just a fascinating story. Can you do another show with us here?
I'd love to. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll have Steve back on the show and figure out how he came out of baseball into something else. Thank you so much for joining us for the COMC Community Spotlight Show.